Welcome to News Laundry Chhota Hafta. For the full episode, subscribe because it is behind the paywall and only subscribers get access to uncut, complete content. News Laundry Hafta is our weekly wrap of all that made the news, all that didn't, and all that should have and all that shouldn't have. We agree, we disagree, we critique, and occasionally we beat each other up. But it's all good fun. Subscribe.
This is a News Laundry podcast and you're listening to NL Hafta.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. Welcome to another episode of Hafta. This is the Hafta after Diwali. I hope you all had a wonderful Diwali. Today is Bhai Dooj, so happy Bhai Dooj to you all. I hope you all have seen the post by everyone's Bhai, Salman Khan, on Happy Bhai Dooj. I don't know what is wrong with him. Why would he post that? He's basically his topless pumping of his Happy Bhai Dooj. I'm like
he is the Bhai.
So maybe that's what he's so Happy Bhai Dooj to everyone. We are recording this on Thursday, 27th October, Bhai Dooj at 3:30 in the afternoon. Let's introduce the panel first. So joining us on the panel today in the studio is Anand Vardhan. Hi Anand.
Hello.
Back to Delhi after a while, polluted Delhi. Manisha Pande.
Hi.
Joining us on the phone line from his home because the pollution of Delhi has got the better of his throat and his sinuses is Raman Kirpal. Hi Raman sir.
Hi.
I'm sorry that Delhi has done this to you, but such is life. And also joining us on the phone line from England and I'm guessing London are two guests who will help us make sense of what is happening there. Sunny Hundal, who has been on the Hafta before. Hi Sunny.
Hello.
So for those of you who were not there in the last Hafta, Sunny is a journalist, he's a writer and a political commentator. He's been writing with the BBC and has previously worked with The Guardian, The Hindustan Times and The Independent. Welcome Sunny.
Thank you for having me again.
Also joining us is Radhika Iyer. Hi Radhika.
Hi.
And Radhika is an award-winning journalist and the London correspondent for NDTV. She has over 14 years of experience reporting current affairs, international politics, trade, conflicts and extremism. She is a media trainer and public speaking coach as well. And in the past, she has worked at Doordarshan, India Today and freelance for the BBC. So welcome Radhika and welcome Sunny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will give you the headlines, but before that, I want to just have a couple of appeals I want to put down for you guys. We have a Kashmir Ki Kahani comic available in the NL store. We have a reprint that's gone in, so do check it out. Thank you so much. It was sold out. The first print is completely sold out and we are happy you guys are enjoying it. I highly recommend you gift this to people who you want to give a gift to. In fact, better still, gift them the Diwali hamper of News Laundry, which is available the 10th of November. It has some News Laundry goodies that you will love. It is high quality stuff, I promise you. But it also supports journalism because you don't take any ads. So since you have to give a gift to someone, you might as well give a Diwali gift, which is a News Laundry gift. And like I said, subscribe, pay to keep news free. The headlines.
Rishi Sunak is the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He's the youngest British Prime Minister ever and the first British Asian to become the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Wednesday urged Prime Minister Narendra Modi to include photos of Hindu deities Ganesh and Lakshmi on the new currency so that it helps us fight the good fight against the United States dollar.
And it made it to prime time that night on every channel.
Like just a lot of comical things happened around this. You also had Atishi saying, please do not oppose this. BJP must not oppose this move. And then you had AAP MLAs saying those who are opposing it should go to Pakistan. So it was complete topsy-turvy. On Thursday, Arvind Kejriwal, which is today, he visited the Ghazipur landfill and remarked that the upcoming civic poll in the city will be fought on the subject of cleaning of garbage.
In fact, this led to a major standoff between the AAP and the BJP Karyakartas.
Yeah.
And the police had to land up.
Approving Chhat Puja at designated Yamuna Ghats in Delhi, the LG of Delhi has cautioned Chief Minister against misleading publicity, contrary to Kejriwal's October 21st tweet that suggested Chhat Puja had been allowed on all ghats of Yamuna. So the governor is still taking on the Chief Minister in Delhi. And in related developments in Kerala, the governor Arif Mohammed Khan has directed 9 vice-chancellors to submit their resignation, citing a Supreme Court verdict. The vice-chancellors have challenged the order and gone to the High Court.
But there was also something, governor versus chief minister. He's also asked the chief minister, Mr. Vijayan, to dismiss the finance minister, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Which he's refused to do. Meanwhile, in Punjab, the governor has asked for, again, a vice chancellor to be replaced, if I'm not wrong, of a university. I'll just get that. So yes, this governor versus chief minister is happening in 3 states now.
Delhi's women's panel chief has asked Haryana government to cancel rape convict Ram Rahine's parole. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar has said that he had no role in the release of this man from the prison ahead of the panchayat elections in the state. So it's very interesting. Before every election, he somehow magically finds his way out.
They were just
And he
showing
came
all-
out with some video and all
yeah,
also, by the
Diwali
way.
video.
The air quality in Delhi remained in the very poor category on Tuesday morning, a day after many residents of the national capital defied a ban on firecrackers, though it is said that this is one of the better post-Diwali airs we've had in a while. A court in Pune has issued a notice asking women lawyers not to arrange their hair in courtrooms, saying that it disturbs proceedings. 4 TRS MLAs have claimed that BJP tried to lure them into their fold. The Cyberabad police said on Wednesday that it's going to investigate these allegations. And in the latest update, the police have held 3 persons accused of having links with the BJP following the complaint. So the complaint is basically that they've been bribed with money.
And this is investigation happening as we
So
speak.
it's quite a big story.
It's a big story,
Especially the
but,
police has arrested people.
and I doubt it'll make it to prime time. But at least right now, it was a couple of channels were showing it.
The Wire today issued an apology for its now retracted articles about social media company Meta. And they said that they have been deceived by a member of their own investigative team. They're also investigating the tech fog articles. The News Broadcasting and Digital Standards Authority has imposed a penalty of Rs 50,000 on television channel News 18 India for their coverage on Karnataka hijab ban. This is pertaining to a primetime show done by their anchor Raman Chopra. And I really loved it. The order said that News 18 should train their anchors to handle such sensitive issues. I was like, okay, best of luck with that.
Yeah. And who do we know who they were sponsored by? The show was sponsored by who? We should make a big deal of it. Anyway.
Yeah, I saw Sprite and Patanjali as one of them, but we'll have a list of that out. The Prayagraj Development Authority in Uttar Pradesh has issued a demolition notice to a hospital where a dengue patient allegedly died after being injected with sweet lime juice instead of platelets. That's the claim of the family, though it's been found now that it wasn't sweet lime juice but platelets that were poorly preserved. Author Sivik Chandran, who faces 2 sexual assault, surrendered before the Kerala police. We had quite a detailed piece on these allegations against him when these first surfaced, so you can check that out on newslaundry.com. In Assam, a museum documenting culture of Bengali origin Muslims have been sealed and 2 community leaders have been arrested. 7 persons were killed in Bangladesh after Cyclone Sitrang made landfall in the South Asian country on Monday night. The cyclone is most likely to intensify into a severe cyclonic storm. That's what the IMD has said, and it may impact us, of course. In the second penalty in a week, the Competition Commission of India has fined Google about 900 crores for its Play Store policies. The allegation has been that Play Store promotes certain apps, which is very, very sneaky. If that's happening, that's really like...
Well, I mean,
But it's also so obvious. They would obviously do that to make...
And I have another problem with them. But anyway, there's another fine.
And previously, the antitrust regulator slapped a fine of about 1,300 crore on Google for abusing its dominant position in multiple markets in the Android mobile device ecosystem. Facebook parent Meta was also fined 20.6 million for violating Washington state's political and ad disclosure law.
24.6 million is the largest fine ever for political ad violations. But I think even Apple should be taken to task, because which is why if you do download our app, you cannot subscribe through our app. Because if you subscribe through our app, 30% money is kept by the Apple Play Store. And actually it says 30%, but it works out to about 40 to 44%. And I just think that's a ridiculous, abuse of their dominant position. So that hasn't been taken up in these, but it's about time that was also taken up, because Google has at least reduced their fee to 15%. Apple hasn't. So I'm waiting for Apple to be taken to task as well.
The Indian cricket team won over Pakistan in a spectacular match on Sunday. It's considered to be a sensational comeback for Captain Virat Kohli, former Captain Virat Kohli, I guess.
Yeah, good article by Ravi Shastri in Express, I think.
I told you so, yeah, I saw that.
Meanwhile, match fee for Indian men and women cricketers will be the same. That's what Jay Shah, the BCCI secretary, announced today. So that's a great move.
Yeah.
Defense Minister Rajnath Singh on Wednesday told his Russian counterpart that nuclear weapons should not be used by any side in the Ukraine war. In a similar statement, United States President Joe Biden on Tuesday said that Russia will be making an incredibly serious mistake if it were to use tactical nuclear weapon against Ukraine.
Right. Thank you, Manisha.
I think it's right to conclude that nobody wanted the job. Boris pulled out with just this exact statement, which was his official reason, saying that there is a lot of division in the party and that now is not the time. It's another matter that he didn't publicly gather more than 57 votes, much unlike what he otherwise thought. But the fact that this is such a difficult job at such a difficult time also can prove to be a strength for Rishi. So I'm sure he's happy where he is and he's been waiting for this moment.
You know, the Conservatives don't want another election anytime soon. They have to have one in 2 years and they will ride it out. The state of the economy is bad enough that they are, in dire the opinion polls are dire for them, and everyone blames the Conservatives for the state of the economy. So you don't want to go to an election unless there's something you can say about how you have helped people and made their lives better and how in the future things are going to be better. So they're not going to go for an election anytime soon. It is a poison chalice for Rishi, and but it might have been his only hope in many ways, because if he said at this point, no, actually I'm not going to run, then I think people would have been quite annoyed at him and said, well, we're not going to support you next time because the party needs you now. So I think that even if he didn't want the job, he clearly does. I think that he would have had to go in anyway. So, sometimes you just have to take a chance.
Like Indians have this habit of appropriating Nobel laureates of Indian origin. So when V.H. Naipaul won the Nobel Prize, there is a customary note that you give when you accept the prize. And he said that it's also a tribute to England, my home, and India, the land of my ancestors. And he missed Trinidad wholly. Entirely, he didn't mention Trinidad. But he remembered India, the land of my ancestors, and England, which is my home. Now, you can concede that at least he gave some space to India in accepting the honor, and in a very tangential way, Indians could lay a claim on that. But then many don't do that, and still Indians claim that.
I was just a little struck in the opening when in the parliament, when they're sitting and the leader of the opposition got up and went at him rather aggressively, and he responded saying that I will enjoy such conversations. I hope they are grown up or they are more adult. He made this snarky comment, and he said, but I will say this, that our party is unlike you. We are tough on crime. We are tough on immigration. We don't. Now, I thought a very obvious retort to that would be, that's a bit rich coming from you. Would that be considered racist? I mean, I think just the fact that in his first appearance, he made such took such an aggressive stance against immigrants, won't the obvious retort be, hello, are you aware of yourself? Or would that be considered racist?
That would be considered a bit racist.
No wonder.
Yeah.
I was wondering. No one got up and said that. Okay.
Well, some people on the left would say that. They would say, well, hold on, your parents came here as immigrants, so why are you being harsh on immigration? And I think that the conservative response to that would be that we're not against immigration. We're just against like unlimited immigration. So we want immigration, but the kind we can control and numbers that we can control.
In fact, the fact that he's Indian origin or he's British Asian did not even matter to the Conservatives in the first time around. So while, yes, I give them the credit that they put a brown man on the hot seat, it took them a lot of weeks to realize that Rishi is their last bet. They could have done this 6 weeks ago. They knew Liz was less competent to Rishi, but they put Liz there only because most people believe that they thought that Rishi backstabbed Boris, and they didn't want to have somebody who is seen as a rebel within the party. But the fact that he's not a white guy, I doubt very much that was one of the key reasons. Albeit we know that there is a great level of white sentiment in the grassroots level of the conservative parties, and I'm hoping that sooner than later that would change as well. So gradually, I'm seeing a very strategic mind of Rishi being revealed. Gradually, I'm seeing a very sharp politician in Rishi.
So, if you see the stand on immigration, it may be a very rhetorical point, but in substance, if you see the stand on immigration, it constitutes a political community, and the grievances, anxieties could be understandable. It constitutes an understandable political component. Whether it's desirable or not, it's another thing. The line to be drawn has to be about xenophobia. So it doesn't grow into xenophobia. That is where both the contenders who have come within the last, say, 2 or 3 months have been clear or unclear in their own ways. Also, I don't think it has come out of a very decisive process, but an organic process where you don't do something, you don't do something to make a point, but the process throws up something.
Right.
So throws up something organically, means that's
when Rajat Gupta was put in for insider trading, it was a big event. It was
McKinsey or Citibank.
He was the head of McKinsey. He was McKinsey worldwide head. And he was in jail. Then that Raj Ratnam, that hedge fund manager from Sri Lanka, is still serving time, I think. And I remember that time many Indians were celebrating Preet Bharara, and friends who you knew in America told you that he doesn't even like to acknowledge that he has any Indian. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but their thing was that the way he went after Rajat Gupta, he would never go after white, because Rajat Gupta is not the only high-profile man who indulged in insider trading. Insider trading is one of those things that most people do at that level of operations, because they're sitting on each other's companies, they have access to information. But Rajat Gupta was thrown in jail. No one else post-Lehman went to jail. It was just the Indian and the Sri Lankan who went to jail. And some of these Indians overcompensate wanting to fit in the white man's club by going after Indians. Is that a phenomena that is an imagined one of, any minority who feels कि भाई America में हमारी चलती नहीं? Or, do we tend to thrust that? Can you think of many such Indian origin people who we've claimed who need not want to be claimed by us?
If a story like Meta comes to me, I think I'm quite technically, I'm not technically challenged. I can easily gauge. That what is fake and what is not. I think first of all, mistakes do happen. Let us admit it. They do happen, and it is, and in all honesty, we should admit it as and when they happen. Then the things are graceful. But in this particular case, the facts were manipulated. There was no mistake. Okay, it wasn't. It was a mistake on the part of the editor that he could not catch that manipulation.
Right.
Okay.
So what you're saying is it wasn't a mistake, it was actually created. It was a manifest.
Okay. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Outsourcing reports is always risky, which is why, Raman sir, you and I both prefer not to do it. Because at least your in-house people, you've known these for years. Because the one time when it happened to us, and I don't want to get into the details, but it involved someone had mental health issues, and someone from that person's family had to come and say that, XYZ makes up stuff, and I'm sorry they made this up. Because, it was just completely made up, and then there was no explanation. Like, why would you do something like that? So, such a elaborate creation of a screenshot or video, I don't see why anyone would do it unless you're getting something.
It's not so much an issue of this being a very technical story that you may not understand how Meta functions, how Instagram functions. It's about basic editorial processes to my mind. The first and foremost thing any journalist does when they get a document is you corroborate it. Now, Wire gets this X-check report screenshot, which they claim they got from a source, which says that Amit Malia was behind the pulling down of this post. The first instinct should be to check that report vis-a-vis the guys whose post was pulled down, to check the timing. Turns out the timing is really off. The report that Wire has of the screenshot, which names Amit Malia, that talks of a time of when the post was reported by Amit Malia, and that time simply doesn't match with when the post was pulled down. So I think even before we get into the technical, and this is true for all small newsrooms, right? Like we don't have beat expertise like maybe an Indian Express or a Times of India has, where you have someone on the tech beat for 10 to 15 years and then
know this stuff.
And then that person will have 2 reporters who can check. So this is a problem all small newsrooms are going to grapple with. But how can we overcome it is by following basic processes, like corroborate a document when you get it. Don't just be trigger happy and put it up in 2 hours and in 2 days in Wire's case. Without the second thing, they didn't reach out to Meta asking them a very pointed question that did Amit Malia have anything to do with this? We have this screenshot. Can you explain to us? You don't even give them a chance to respond. You just you completely, and then your justification is that we don't want to do it because we don't trust them. But that's just not an excuse.
The conclusion of what this is going to be and going to lead to is decided beforehand, that we are going to conclude this, and we have these pieces which we can somehow fit in. Now, it's just you ball of, in a cricketing terms, you ball a flighted ball and the batsman who is on aggressive intent, his eyes lit up that I have to hit that. So that is one thing. Also, it's also in a way it's a very grotesque, very distorted case of confirmation bias. And if you and they also a lot of things. In fact, it's a case study of a lot of things. A kind of activism seeping into it. Also, a lot of things. So, just as a news consumer, I am saying these things. And
yes, as Anand says, I mean, when you are ideologically driven and you get into activism, and then somebody wants to trap you, so it could be a trap. I mean, it could be. I mean, that the kind of stories that Wire comes up with.
All of you listening in, the Chhota Hafta, do subscribe so you can listen to the entire Hafta. We will see you again next week with the Hafta. Till then, subscribe, pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Thank you. Goodbye.
All the News Laundry podcasts are available on Stitcher, iTunes, and any other podcast platform.
Please subscribe to News Laundry. Help us keep news independent. To catch all our podcasts on news, pop culture, current affairs, and sport, visit newslaundry.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Sun liya Afrika, mufat khoro. Not to brag or anything, but News Laundry Hafta features in the top 50 in the world on SoundCloud in the news and politics category for podcasts. So do subscribe and see what you're missing, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Subscribe, help keep news independent and free. All News Laundry podcasts are available on iTunes and Stitcher and any other podcast platform.